Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I actually have four things that I'm going to be announcing. I'll try to keep my comments fairly short. I will try to be less than 8 minutes and then open it up for questions. I'd like to start with shutting off my phone. Sorry about that. I'd like to start with the agri-food industry. We have announced up to $1 million in funding to match potential workers with agri-producers. One of the challenges that we face right now is that typically in spring, in the planting season, we have about 35 to 40,000 temporary farm workers who come into Ontario to help with the planting season to get ready for agriculture. We're not able to bring those temporary farm workers in. We need to make sure that we have a good, solid food supply for all of Ontario. So we've started a portal where people who are interested in working in the agribusiness can put their information in, and we can match them up then with different food producers who need the extra help. A lot of it is hard manual labor. It is around the agriculture side of it, planting and getting ready to plant. We're reaching out to the people of Ontario. If there is anyone who is interested in working in agriculture right now or in food producing, please go to the portal. We'll pass the portal information on afterwards to everyone so that you have it. We need to make sure that we have a good supply of food moving forward. We don't want to be in a position come next January where there's a shortage of good Ontario grown food. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the $20 million that the Ontario government is investing specifically for research for COVID-19. And we've got some of the best universities in the entire world who have done some fabulous research work over the years. For those of you who don't know, it was actually in Ontario that insulin was discovered and created. We have a long history of medical supplies, medical breakthroughs because of the research that's done here in Ontario. With COVID-19 and the challenges that the entire world is facing, we believe that it is very important that Ontario universities and other institutions that do this type of research are at the forefront, and not only to consider developing a vaccine for it, but other things that can be done to help with the treatment. There have been suggestions that perhaps plasma is something that can be used to help fight COVID-19. If you have someone who has already gone through COVID-19, they have antibodies in their system, can those antibodies then be transplanted from one person to another to help someone who's already infected? And that's the type of research that we need to be doing. Are there other types of drugs that are available that can mitigate some of the challenges that you face when you have COVID-19? Is COVID-19 or does COVID-19 affect more than just the respiratory system? These are all questions that our medical professionals have, and we do have the expertise in Ontario at our universities and other institutions to get the answers for it. So we're investing $20 million specifically for this to help get through the COVID-19 crisis. On a positive note, something not related to COVID-19, we've reached a tentative agreement with Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation. It's important to do because we know that when we come out of COVID-19, life has to go on. And this is going to provide certainty then for all of the students who are in secondary school as well as all of the families of those students. I can't give you any of the details right now because it needs to be presented to the union membership for them to ratify it. But we're very happy today to announce that we have a tentative agreement the Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation. And the last thing I'd like to talk about today is this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're holding roundtables with various businesses to look at what the province can do to help support them as we come out of COVID-19, when we're ready to get the economy moving. And I'm announcing 3 more roundtables for next week. On Tuesday at 4 o'clock, we'll have a roundtable with the construction industry. Anyone who is involved in construction, whether they're a builder or a subcontractor, anything from roofing to siding to eaves troughs, carpeting, tiling, any of the other sub-trades. We're asking those individuals to come forward for us on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we will be doing a roundtable on agriculture. What challenges do our farms, our farmers, anyone who's involved in agriculture, what challenges are you going to have moving forward once we come out of COVID-19? And the last one is tourism and hospitality. We know that in the Kawartha's area in particular, seasonal tourism makes up a very large part of our gross domestic product here. This has taken a significant hit with COVID-19. When you can't have groups of more than 5 people in one location, it's very, very difficult to have things like a conference or even a meeting. Seasonal residences or seasonal cottages, seasonal trailer parks are not open at the moment. How is that going to affect different groups? When we look at the Trent Severn Waterway, Parks Canada has said that it's not going to be open at the end of May like they typically would open. How is this going to have an effect on the greater tourism and the hospitality side of this industry? So we'll be doing a roundtable on that one on Thursday. We want to make sure that once this is over, we're in a position that Ontario can move forward. That's not to suggest that we are nearing the end of COVID-19, but we need to be prepared for it. The people of Ontario have done a very, very good job following the guidelines around social distancing. In a number of areas across the province, we are seeing lower infection rates. Peterborough is one in particular that is doing exceptionally well. We can't stop what we're doing right now. I know the weather is getting nicer. I know that people have been cooped up for basically 5 weeks now. And they're excited about going out. They're excited about doing things. We need to stay diligent. What we're talking about ultimately are saving people's lives. Thank you very much. That's the end of my prepared speech. If anyone has any questions, Kaylee, typically what we do is we ask you to raise your virtual hand. If you're not sure how to do that, if you click on the participants button, you'll see a list of the participants. And if you go to your name, right-click on it, you should be able to raise your virtual hand there. Are there any questions? Kaylee, if you'd like to unmute yourself.
What was the roundtable next Wednesday? What was that one again? I just missed that middle one.
Next Wednesday is agriculture. So anyone involved in farming or agri-food.
And anyone can attend those?
If you come to our website, Dave Smith PTBO, there's a link there for roundtables.
Okay.
At about 3 o'clock today, the link for next week's roundtables will be listed.
It's kind of like this scenario?
Yeah, it'll be a virtual one. And we can have up to 98 people.
Oh, wow.
So we have more than 50 signed up for a couple of the sessions next week.
Okay.
So we're expecting that it'll be, this week. So we're expecting that it'll be a very good turnout again. And it's an opportunity for businesses and producers to give the feedback to us. It's not me telling them what we're going to do. It's me finding out what they need so that we can tailor our response to give them the best opportunity to succeed once COVID-19 is over.
Great. What were the ones this week about? The same things?
This week it is anyone who's involved in professional services. That's tonight. That could be lawyers, accountants, bookkeepers, real estate professionals, tax professionals, anyone who's doing services that way. Then tomorrow night is non-retail businesses, anyone who's not in the retail market but is running a business of some kind. And then on Thursday it is retail businesses. And we're doing 6 sessions actually this week. We've separated the county and the city because we have a large mass of city-based businesses, and we want to make sure that the rural voice, the county voice, isn't missed in this.
Perfect. How does it work for the money and the research? Like, do you see like Trent University or any local research companies kind of like applying? Do you just have to apply for that at a certain point?
Yeah, so it's more based around universities and some of the other institutions there, not so much on individual businesses. Trent University has done some excellent work in a number of different areas. One of them is the sanitizing of N95 masks. They have a process for it. Ideas like that is what has precipitated this. So any university that is doing research or wants to do research right now, specifically on COVID-19, they can apply for the funds for it to kickstart that with their researchers.
Okay. Great.
Does anyone else have any questions? Lois. Your mic's not on though, Lois. You're still not on. Let me see if I can unmute you.
There you go.
Everyone is unmuted now.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lois.
Except for Lois.
No, you're still muted, Lois. I'm sorry. Okay. Technology has gotten the better of us on this one. I'm sorry, Lois.
You could use the chat, Lois. Press that little bubble beside the participants thing. You could write it. Enter the chat message.
What time are the sessions this week? 4 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for city-based businesses, and 6 o'clock for the county-based businesses. Okay. If there aren't any other questions, then we'll close this off for the day. Thank you very much, and we're expecting we'll have another one tomorrow afternoon. Thank you.